Yeah.
Not sure what that's. Send that out.
Is anyone else online or no?
Tammy's on.
Do you wanna
And she's on mute, so.
put in the chat a question asking if you want to take that? Keep that one? I guess it doesn't, you can't fix it, it doesn't matter. I just, yeah.
No response.
Are we gonna go ahead and proceed then? I'm ready when you are.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. This is the Historic Preservation Commission to start. Do we need roll call? Roll call, please.
Mayor McGrath? Mayor McGrath? Tracy Snyder? Tracy Snyder? Jim Mazias?
Here.
Tom Dimas?
Here.
Dave Anderson?
Here.
John Hopkins?
Here.
Jared Trimble?
Here.
5 out of 7 present, a quorum is met.
Thank you. So our only item here is discussion and action on recommendation for certificate of appropriateness for modifications and signage to the Lake Shore Walking Trail. That is tab 1 of your packet. And we do have a memo on this. And the only thing that I wasn't exactly sure about is what the signage will actually look like. Do we have an idea of that, or Jen, do you have anything else you want to add?
It's
Tony?
in front of you in the packet right there.
This is what the sign is gonna look like?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is the sign.
That is the sign, got it. I was confused,
It's
obviously.
It's the gateway.
3 feet by 4 feet.
Okay,
So it is the trailhead.
so
sign.
giving you an overview.
Giving you an overview of what it looks like. I would say the Parks Committee spent a fair amount of time going back and forth with, I mean, I think Tony and Erica Lang and some folks have expertise in this department in terms of like how much people are gonna read, things like that. We did add some natural features. We added a couple things according to comments, adjustments. It's gone through a pretty thorough review, I would say.
We checked it with the historical association. I'm saying it wrong.
Historical, yep,
Yeah.
Okay.
preservation. So I mean, it's been
Vetted.
vetted. It's the-
Well, that makes much more sense now, thank you. I thought this was just for our informational purposes, and I was like, well, where's the actual sign? But this is it, that's great. That's very informative,
It's
and not
informative
too much at the same time.
to let people know, like, you can get to the marina, you can go to the coal dock, and there was a lot of discussion on these little, we added the little things at you see the top, tried to make it not too overwhelming.
So this specific one will be at the trailhead at West End Park. And again, it's funded through coastal management, and we have current funding from coastal management for 2 more trailhead signs, which in the memo here, you'll see one down here Washington Avenue and the other at Marina.
What is
And it'll look similar to this.
Sure. What is the timeline for this one getting installed, out of curiosity?
It is in the garage, so as soon as it makes approval, we can begin. It could be, well, I would say it could be done by the end of the month, but don't quote me on that. It will be in this summer.
Before July 25th? I'm making a special request for it to be done by July 25th, please. We have a scenic byway episode that will be filmed for Discover Wisconsin.
We're gonna have to do something.
Unplug that.
Is it that, Mike?
Is it that, Mike?
Sorry, technical difficulties. Give us a half a moment.
We normally don't.
Because I had it off and it was still doing this thing.
We'll keep troubleshooting as needed. Anyway, there's going to be a Discover Wisconsin episode filmed that week, starting July 25th, and they're going to include the walking trail.
Oh, okay.
And so I would love for the sign to be up for that purpose.
something.
We have gremlins.
So the other thing is, this is where we're trying to get a theme, right? We're trying to have like one, kind of a theme of what the signs will look like. So if you know the underwater ones that are already like on the walking trail, right? They kind of fit in with those. So we're trying to kind of get a theme going, so we don't have a bunch of different kinds of signs all over the place. So that's
Very
the other
good.
point.
Well, thank you for all your work on this.
Yep.
Would anyone care to make a motion on this?
I'll make the motion to approve this, the full placement of the trailhead signs.
Second,
And before you vote on that, part of this is also about the trail as well. So there are trail changes that will be occurring, which we have funding for as well. Because I think you just said signage.
Right, but I know there's gonna be some changes.
Okay.
So including the changes to the
Including
trail
the
as
changes to the
outlined.
trail as outlined.
And that's your second as well.
yes, again, we want to have like the entranceway give a little bit more room to where the beach is. That's getting more and more use. So the entrance is going to be pushed back a little bit, where you kind of go into the walking trail itself, which will give us more room in that area where the beach is.
Is there any change to the trail at the Washington Ave location there?
Just new stairs.
Or is it just the new stairs on the same path?
I think it's the same path.
We're building a new bridge. So the bridge will be at a different location, thus limited, so we'll reduce the walk down on the one side. And then we will be redoing the stairwell from where the bridge is up to the top of the hill. So the access to the beach will be on the other side of the bridge.
So the east side or the
Yes.
west side?
So there will still be a trail access down to the beach, but we'll be on the one location.
Okay. Anyone else?
Scott, you look like you're.
No, I'm just thinking.
About the sound?
Oh, it sounds.
Yeah, our microphones are on right now. So if everyone could just make a special point to try to talk right into your microphone, it's hard for people to hear when we don't do that. Any other questions, comments, or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And I will adjourn out of Historic Preservation Commission and call to order City Council for Monday, June 12th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Mayor McGrath. Tracy Snyder. Jim Mazias.
Here,
Tom Nimus.
Here.
Dave Anderson.
Here.
John Hopkins. Jared Trimbo.
Here.
5 out of 7 present, and 4 absent.
Thank you. John, if you wouldn't mind pulling your microphone a little bit closer so you could talk into that would be great. Thank you. Our next, and then we have the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our next item is approval of monthly expenditures via roll call vote. Do we need to wait on that?
I'll make a motion that we approve the monthly expenditures contingent on final approval.
I'll second that.
So, contingent upon review by the other committee
Right.
members. Okay. And then Jared was the second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
This is a
Oh, roll call
vote
vote, right.
Jared Trimble,
Yes.
John Hopkins,
Yes.
Dave Anderson,
Yes.
Tom Nemes,
Yes.
Jen Mazias,
Yes.
and the other two are still not here. Motion is met.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is public comment.
Mary,
Sorry,
you skipped the minutes.
I did, didn't I? I am gonna go back to the minutes. Would anyone care to make a motion on the minutes from May 8th?
I'll make that motion and approve the minutes from the 8th.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Jared. Thank you, Tony. Any questions, comments, or discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is public comment. If anyone is here, please step forward, state your name and address, and sign in on the little paper there. Is there a pen there? Yep. And if you could please limit your comments to 3 minutes, that would be great. Don't have my phone on me, so someone can help me out there. Yep, thank you.
Thought I have here a little better. Do it.
My name is John Winnell. I own Stage North, 90620 Bark Point Road, Herbster. After the theater had been closed for almost 2 years due to COVID, I didn't think it could get much worse. And then a little over a year ago, Assistant City Administrator Tony Janich decided to publicly state at one of these meetings that 2 Washburn businesses were not in compliance with the city's liquor codes. For the next year, my family, my employees, my contractors, my friends, and the Stage North groundlings who leased the theater all had to put up with questions about the city removing the theater's liquor license as rumors spread like a wildfire. 1 month ago, at this meeting, Councilwoman Jennifer Macias decided to offer up her unsubstantiated opinion that Stage North in particular was not in compliance, and asked the city attorney repeatedly how much power the city council had in granting and removing liquor licenses. Now we face yet another year of ugly rumors and wild speculation because of the uninformed and uneducated gossip spread in this room. Stage North has been in business for almost 25 years in this town. We've had a liquor license for 17 of those years without a single problem. We are in compliance with the liquor codes. The rumors started in this room are damaging to my business and border on harassment. Some of the people on this council and in the city administration need to remember that they are here to assist the citizens and businesses in this town, and that they are not here to attack and denigrate them. Does anybody have any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here for public comment? Sign in here, please.
Hi, my name is Patty Bird, and first of all, I want to thank all of you for your service to this community that I was fortunate enough to call home for almost 50 years. Thank you. I'm here because I also am concerned about Stage North and the proposed liquor license situation. I guess I just don't quite understand. Stage North has been a part of this community for well over 20 years. I know, and I've been involved since the very beginning. There were many other small communities such as Washburn that really would have loved to have had the chance to have that theater in their community.
If I could just interrupt you for one
Yes.
minute.
I'm not sure what the proposed situation is that you're referring to, but there is no action other than an approval of the license that is being proposed.
Oh,
So,
okay, okay.
Just so you know, I just wanted to make sure that you
I-
knew
I'm-
that there's nothing other than an approval on the agenda tonight.
Okay, okay. Well, I hope that it gets approved, because I really think it's important that we support our businesses, especially one who's been here for so many years. So,
Okay, thank you. Anyone else here for public comment?
I'm Eric Gruber. I own Ghost Ship Gallery, formerly known as Carlin Yellowbird Gallery. Name change is relatively new. I'm also here to comment in support of Stage North and Bell Tower. Like others, I've heard just rumors and speculation about liquor licenses. I wasn't at the last city council meeting, so I don't have enough information or context to, know what was discussed there. And I don't have information or context to know what's been discussed behind closed doors. So I'm just operating off of rumors we've heard down at the gallery and around town. So without commenting on anything I have or haven't heard, I would say that I feel like we're extremely lucky to have Stage North and Bell Tower in this community. I believe they're a vital part of what we're doing here and will hopefully be an important part of this area's futures. So I hope that other people in this room feel the same way, and we can find new ways to partner and collaborate together.
Thank you. And if you don't mind just signing in there. Anyone else here for public comment? Anyone online for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Next item is mayoral announcements, proclamations, and appointments. And I'm gonna go backwards in order of the bullet points here and start with appointment of the fire chief. As most of you know, we sadly lost our fire chief of many years recently. And so the need to appoint a new chief is upon us. And Mark Gunther has been with the fire department for many years, and I can vouch for him since I've known him for many years myself as well. And I believe you have a memo in your packet to that effect as well. Also, in the fire department bylaws, they do select who they would like to see appointed, and that was done with Mark being the choice for chief, and then Chris Bolufsky and Al Krause as assistant chiefs. Thanks to Dick Olson for all his years of service as he steps down as assistant chief. And then Chan Cleland, Cole Pearson, and Scott Posner selected to serve as captains, with Tim Schwensfire stepping down as captain. So thanks to everyone for all of the roles that they have served and continue to serve in various ways. And with that, I would look for a motion to approve that appointment.
I'll make the motion to approve Mark Gunther as the new second fire chief.
That was a second by John. Motion by Dave, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And his lovely wife, Joan, our first lady of the fire department.
wow, new title, Johnny.
I know, you don't like it? Our next item is appointment to the room tax commission. And for that, Mary McGrath has served on that commission for quite some time and would like to continue on that for at least another year as we work through some of the questions that have come up about
the room tax dollars, and so I agreed to keep her on as long as she represents the city in that role and our interests. And so with that, I would look for a motion to approve Mary to serve on the room tax commission
I'll
again.
make a motion to approve Mary on the tax commission.
Second.
Motion by Tom, second by Jen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, I would like to do something that is not on the printed agenda, but I have something here that I would like to present to Craig Parks from the fire department, who has recently retired from 31 plus years serving our community on the fire department. So with that, Mark, if you wouldn't mind coming up, and Craig to the front. Mark had sent me some notes in case he couldn't be here tonight. And I'm just going to read those quickly and then I'll let you fill in a little bit, if that's all right. Craig has been one of the most dedicated firefighters Washburn Fire Department has had. He's responded to countless fires, accidents, and rescue calls, protecting lives and property for over 31 and a half years. When Mark was a new firefighter, Craig was one of the guys he always hoped to team up with when going into a burning building, as he always looked like he knew what he was doing. His calm and reassuring personality could make dangerous and chaotic situations seem not so bad. Over the last few years, Craig had started to talk about retiring from the fire department as other things in his life were getting more time consuming. He initially said he didn't feel he could retire as he didn't want to leave the fire department shorthanded. As the fire department has added over 10 new firefighters to our roster over the last 5 years, Craig recently said he felt okay thinking about retiring as our membership numbers were doing well. Craig has played a big part in finding some of these new members and getting them to join our department. Washburn Fire Department wants to thank Craig for his dedication and service for so many years. I'll add to that, I work with Craig in another setting over at Mayfield County, and I was going to say exactly what Mark said in his email, and that is that Craig, no matter how chaotic a situation is just always so level-headed and can think about problems like there's nothing going on, you know. So I'm amazed by your ability to just steer the ship through sometimes chaotic situations. So thank you very, very much for your service. And Mark, if you wanted to add anything, feel free to step forward.
Craig's been one of those guys, as I started with the fire department, that, you know, that's who I want to be like. You know, that able to walk into a situation and we can do this. Maybe we don't know how, but we'll figure it out. And a lot of times with a fire, that was the case. You just have to go in and figure out what you've got. And Craig did just a tremendous job of helping people get through that over the years. And really gonna miss him, but you know, understand that sometimes 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and then being to work by 5 in the morning is pretty tough. So we're just really gonna miss you, but I want to say thanks for all your efforts.
What was the story that you told me about the basement?
Mary asked about, you know, do we have some stories of fires? And I think one of the most memorable was one from before I was on the department. It was during deer season, maybe opening day of deer season.
November 22nd, 1993.
Washburn was paged for a vacuum cleaner on fire. Well, you leave your deer stand for that call. 2 people did. It was Mike Pedersen and Craig. And when they got there, they found out the vacuum that they expected to go in and carry out was not that simple. It was a central vac, and the whole basement was full of fire. So the 2 of them, and this is not something we could, maybe a rescue, we would attempt this today, but we have to do things a little better. But Mike said, grab the hose, I'll put the pump in gear and I'll follow you in. And 2 of them went into that basement and put the fire out. You know, a basement fire for a firefighter is kind of the worst case scenario, because heat goes up and there's typically only one way in, one way out. But, you know, they took care of business with just the two of them and got it done and saved the house. I think Craig's had, you know, over 30 years, you start forgetting how many different times he's had opportunities like that to make a real big impact on somebody's.
You remember that date?
Well, that was the year my son was born. I picked him up at the hospital the day before.
Oh, there you go. I'm sensing dedication as a theme here. So I do have something for you, if you wouldn't mind stepping up, and Mark, if you would come up too, we'll get a quick picture.
Here?
Come on up here. We'll do a picture in front of the flags.
Oh, photo op.
About as good as we get here. Let's little space. And then Scott's gonna come around. So this is for you. You know, we don't have a big budget. I'd love to get you something more than a certificate.
Buy another hose or something.
There we go. You won't. I have my glasses on.
So,
Oh.
1, 2, 4, 3.
Thank you, and congratulations.
I still like. That's about it. I'm not very good at speaking.
That's okay, you've done enough, thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay, then I'm on to a couple of announcements and a proclamation. As far as the announcements go, one really exciting thing that is happening right now is that we have bipartisan agreement on shared revenue discussions that I believe, knock on wood, are going to make it across the finish line, giving all communities a minimum of a 20% increase in shared revenues, which is even better than when those discussions began. I think it is beyond the point where it's not a partisan issue right now, because all communities are hurting. All local governments need help, and the state can't ignore that any longer. And they have really stepped up. We've had some really great discussions. I serve on the board of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. We had one-on-one discussions with Senator Lemahieu and Representative Voss, telling them our stories. And they listened, and they took those back. They've also been hearing from their constituents across the state, and they've made it through these bumpy discussions of who's going to take credit for what and who's going to give a little bit on what. And it's not anybody's ideal scenario in all ways, but it's everybody's benefit in some ways. And it's really exciting. So I just wanted to highlight the fact that that's coming. I believe Wednesday is the date that is, I think, when it's actually going to happen and be signed. So a lot of hard work has gone into this. It wouldn't hurt to thank your legislators for their work on this and for getting this over the finish line, if indeed they come through on Wednesday, which, fingers crossed, it really does sound promising. So for the past 20 years, it's just been stagnant, and we literally are getting less now than we did 20 years ago. So this is going to help. It's not going to solve all of our problems, but the good news is it is going to help. It looks like the amount is about $125,000 that is only to be used for specific things, but it's a, there's some latitude there: transportation, emergency services, and then the other good part of this is that it's sustainable. It has been tied to the sales tax, and so as the sales tax increases, so do our shared revenues. And so it's no longer a flat amount. and that's huge. So that's really exciting news that I just wanted to share with everyone. The other announcement that I have is it is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, June 15th. There's an event at the Harbor View Event Center, and it starts at 8:30 in the morning and it goes all the way until 3 o'clock. There's really interesting information going on all day long with little presentations periodically. I will make sure that we have this poster maybe on our Facebook page and on our bulletin board. But information on money, identity theft, there's a free picnic lunch, common scams and fraud targeting seniors, and presenters by the Wisconsin Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection. So really good information for folks that I wanted to make sure gets out, because I didn't really know about this until very recently. And then I have one proclamation. So I'm going to read it because it is only one. And it's a timely topic. It's been a hot topic at the school board meetings. And I did read the proclamation at a school board meeting because I had made this proclamation last year. And it was with the help of Kate Stolt with some of the wording on this. Also, I used some language from the city of Wausau, who has had some interesting situations happening with this topic. And this is the Community for All proclamation. And when people think of inclusiveness, a lot of times they don't realize that this is a wide net. This is a community and throughout the whole county, really, that's an aging community. And we don't always think of how people are affected by our physical spaces. And that's part of this, and so we may think, well, we don't really have a diversity and inclusivity problem here in Washburn. Well, I can guarantee you that we do in many different ways. It may not be a huge problem to a lot of people, but it's a huge problem to some people. And those are all different kinds of people. So with that, I'm going to read the proclamation. Whereas Washburn's social, economic, and collective physical and mental well-being is predicated on our community's ability to be an open, inclusive, and diverse place to live and work. And whereas a community's values are not only determined by its elected bodies, but also its residents, families, business owners, nonprofit leaders, community organizers, religious institutions, and schools. And whereas human diversity can be defined as differences in race, ethnicity, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, physical and/or mental capabilities, and religious beliefs. And whereas the city of Washburn recognizes diversity, inclusion, and equity as essential to positive and healthy lives, and is committed to ensuring people of all perspectives and experiences are welcome and feel safe in our community. And whereas the city of Washburn is welcoming and inclusive to all residents and visitors alike, no matter their age, race, color, national origin, religion, gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, disability or socioeconomic, familial, or veteran status. Now therefore, I, Mary D. Motiff, Mayor of the City of Washburn, in recognition of these points, do hereby proclaim the City of Washburn as a community for all, and will continue to promote an environment that accepts, celebrates, and appreciates diversity within the community while condemning any hate-based activity, treatment, or discrimination due to a person's protected class. And I call on our partners in government, residents, families, business owners, nonprofit leaders, community organizers, religious institutions, and schools to do the same. Thank you. And thank you for all your help in spreading that message. Okay, our next item is discussion and action on transfer of property Lot 1 of CSM 2278, portion of Lot 52, to Megan Collins at 330 South 8th Avenue West. That's tab 3 of your packet. And then we did have some additional information, I believe, from Scott on this regarding the fencing part of the transfer. Would anyone care to make a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion to accept this transfer, including that addition. That's
The fencing?
right, that would be, good for the community on that.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom, second by Dave. Any comments, questions, or discussion? I want to thank Megan again for working with us to come to a solution here that works for everyone for the best we can, and hopefully it'll be a good end byproduct with this addition of the fencing, which we talked about, and hopefully only a temporary increase in traffic.
Thank you. And is it okay if I talk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just, I can't say that I'm any happier with the road being there, because that would not be true. However, I've gotten a little more peace with it, but I just wanted to say that I do appreciate all of the time that has been devoted from the council, and certainly from Scott and Jerry to help me with this, to make it as painless as possible. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. On behalf of everyone, thank you. So we do have a motion and a second to approve the transfer, including the fencing. Any other questions, comments, or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, and Scott will be in touch with details. Thank you very much. Okay, our next item is discussion and referral of request to vacate 9th Street East between Washington Avenue and 3rd Avenue East. I'm the Blakely petitioner, and I'm going to go to tab 4 of our packet here. So this is really just an initial look at this to determine how the council feels, so that we know whether more time will be invested as it potentially moves forward. Would anyone care to make a motion on, the referral of the request onward, or?
I'll make a motion to, at this time, refer this to the planning commission.
Second that.
Okay, any discussion anyone wants to have on this, or are we pretty cut and dry that this doesn't look like it really has any effect on anyone other than the property owner?
I think in the memo we talked about any future. I mean, because like right now I don't see anything, but also I don't have the expertise of the administration of like future possibilities of things. We do something like this, like new building, things being sold and new houses being put in and things like that. So I just want to have so we're all making an informed decision on the motion.
In my opinion, this block is already a fairly small triangular block. I really don't anticipate a need for a road going through that area and then creating an even smaller separate triangle off of that. So I really, in my opinion, this makes sense to actually allow this to happen so that we could have a potential another structure be placed on that property. And I think that would be in the city's best interest.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Scott.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, all in favor of the Motion to refer to plan commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Excellent. Thank you for your interest in doing something there, Eileen. What's the proper term to a former mayor? Former mayor lately?
Just a regular,
No. All right, thank you. Have a good night. Our next item is discussion and action on resolution 2023-001, approving the 2022 compliance maintenance report for the sewer utility. That's tab 5 of your packet. And it looks like the guys have been hard at work. Jerry, do you have anything you want to add to that, or?
No, not really.
I just looked out the window and remembered that the fountain is going. Thank you for that. Sidebar. Okay. Anyone care to make a motion on the report?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 23-011.
Second that.
Motion by Dave, second by Jared. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is discussion and action on resolution 2023-012, declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing. It's tab 6 of your packet. It sounds like this is a recommended resolution to help us through this next stage of borrowing for our highway project.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 23-12.
Motion by Tom, second by Dave. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
A little weird, but yep, that's what they're recommending for us to do, I feel like.
Okay. And I'm not sure where Tammy has to keep this for the next.
Right, I'm like, what are we gonna do with this? I mean, paper exercise is kind of, but if it's needed and they suggest it, and they'll help us get
I'm sure it will
some funding, then
Yeah.
great,
it will remain available for public inspection until the bonds are issued.
sounds good.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and action on personnel finance committee recommendation to adjust the employee vacation policy. That's tab 7 of your packet. And this is fairly cut and dry. We had the issue come up and requested by the employees. It seems to make sense. Would anyone care to make a motion on that policy?
I'll make a motion to accept this policy as written.
Second that.
Motion by Tom, second by Jared. Any questions, comments, or discussion on that? Jerry, anything on this one?
No. Well, I don't have much of a voice, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, I still hope we do whatever we can to allow our employees to take, I'm assuming we do that, but there's, I guess, just certain circumstances where you don't want everybody to leave like on the 4th of July, right? So,
I see why I was there, but I see why we get rid of it.
All right, very good. Well, seeing no other comments or questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, discussion and action on special event request for a cruising event at Patsy's Bar on July 11th from 6 to 8, including relaxation of open container from Bayfield Street to the alley and on South 4th Avenue West, and the temporary closure of South 4th Avenue West. Tammy DeMars, North Coast Car Show petitioner. Was it 8 or 8:30? I saw it in the,
I thought it was 8:30.
I thought it was 8:30 also. Oh, no, 6 to 8 here. Here it says from 5:30 to 8:30 in the letter.
Maybe before and after that.
Right, and here, down here, it says, for this work, we are requesting the temporary closure of South Avenue Fourth, West Bayfield Street to Valley from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m.
Relaxation.
So the special event request from 6, the event takes place from 6 to 8, but it includes the relaxing of the open container as outlined in the letter. Perfect. Okay, do we have a motion yet on that or no?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event request.
I'll second that.
Motion by Dave, second by Tom. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
It's fun.
John?
That's my front door,
Ah, of course.
and so, I only ask that people clean things up. That's the only comment. I don't want to clean up anything from anybody in my yard, please, or in the ditch by my yard. So, if we can do that, I'm fine.
Does anyone want to make an actual amendment to the motion to include that, or should we just stipulate that that is a condition?
I think
It should be a condition on any permit like that, right?
Yeah.
So probably.
All right, very good. Duly noted, John. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next is discussion and action on approval of Class B beer and Class B liquor licenses to Schwamigan Bait LLC at 10 West Bayfield Street, Kelsey Lindsay, agent. That's tab 9 of your packet. And this is the next step after the what was it, the temporary?
Temporary
or
license.
provisional? Provisional, thank you, that was the word I was looking for. Anyone care to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Dave, motion to approve, second by Jen. And I just want to state here that I don't believe that anyone here was accusing anyone of anything at our last discussion where this type of agenda item came up. We have the ability to discuss the items that are presented in front of us, and I don't believe anyone was accusing anyone of anything, so I'm not sure,
Yeah, I'll have to go back. and
Where the
listen to
rumors
recording. I
started
was
with
just
that.
asking where our flexibility is. I mean, I love Stage North. I go to Stage North. I go
Right.
to all the places in Washburn and support all of them. I was just asking about our I always want to know where we have discretion, right? And we have a lot, I mean, Washburn's just becoming like, we have people that are waiting for liquor license. We have people that, actually it was stated by this petitioner that maybe in the future they might want to give theirs up if they're just gonna do something different. So I mean, it was just a discussion. It
Right,
was like by no means, and in compliance, I'm assuming that if they are for renewal, that's administration's deal, and if they're in compliance, and if they weren't in compliance, then we wouldn't.
some action would be
Renewal.
taken.
So I was a little taken back too, but I guess that's what you get for, I don't know, I guess I just need to be more careful with my words. So lesson learned for me. But I want to state that I do support Stage North and everything that goes with it. And I've been a practitioner there for years and go to all the stuff, and so do my children, so.
Very good. So with that said, we have a motion by Dave and a second by Jen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and action on approval of annual alcohol license renewal.
There's 13 of them. I'll make a motion to approve all 13. There's nothing wrong.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to approve all before us by Tom, second by Jared. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna open the can of worms. 'Cause I just need to know, like, so, at one time, Tony, you talked about how in order to be in compliance, a business had to be open so much time, right? And be serving, that, we had a discussion, it was like we were giving a break, we were talking about COVID and things being not open as much. And is there something with that? Or do we have anything that we need to know about liquor licenses and how much people need to be open?
Well, as I stated at the time, we do have an ordinance
Ordinance.
that says that for to have a license, the establishment must be open half of the year, either, well, if they're closed for more than half of the year. So it's based on either 180 days consecutively or mismatched throughout a year's time frame. So we do have an ordinance in place as such.
Okay.
It has been used to my, I guess, from what I can see, once at the Brooktown Palace. So it was taken away there when they were probably closed for
A couple years.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of discussions, so I don't always remember all the stuff that we discussed, right? And so I think that time it was like the Stage North discussion was just for a while. I think they were, they have intermittent things, and then when Bell, the new place kind of opened up all summer. Just for that short season that things are open. So it sounds like.
And again, I mean, that was coming out of the pandemic and
Right.
at the same time having a demand for,
Right.
or desire for a license because council rejected a license.
Correct. Okay, well, it's good to know. So that's not a state thing with licensing. That's an
No, it's
ordinance
based
that
on the
we
local
have.
municipality.
Oh, our municipality. So that's a good thing just to know that we have an ordinance.
However, to revoke or not issue a license, we would have to follow the state statutes. So
Right.
that is identified within the state.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
And then just one other clarification. I know you stated a name change. So the license for Carlin Yellowbird is being approved under Carlin Yellowbird, and then there will be a
We're
name
waiting for
change.
some paperwork.
Okay,
Renee?
so that'll be a separate
Yeah. So there's-
transaction that we don't need to be involved with.
No,
It's just a name
No, I
change.
just need to have proof from the IRS that their sales tab or their FIN, their federal ID number is the same with the new name, and then it can just be reissued.
Okay. And the new name is Ghost Ship Gallery?
Got it.
Excellent.
What is it?
Huh?
I didn't,
Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship Gallery.
Ghost Ship.
You got it.
Wow.
So,
Well done, John.
the eeriness continues. All right, very good. So with that, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments, or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and we are adjourned.
Wow.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.